starting our AFC Champions League for the league press conference with head coach Aurelio Vidmar and player Andreas Kuen. Coach, maybe we'll start with you first, just your pre-match view of the game tonight.
Yeah, well, we welcome Buriram to Melbourne. They've been here once before in the group stages. It was a very difficult game for us that night as well, so we're expecting very much the same. And I think it's an important game, obviously, round of 16. A special step for us as a club. First time to reach the round of 16 in this competition, so looking forward to it.
Andreas, same question to you. How do you preview this game?
Yeah, we're looking forward to the game tomorrow. We played against them already, so we know what we are facing, and I'm looking forward to the game and to the away game also.
And we'll open up questions to the floor. If you just introduce your name and your organisation.
Aurelio, Mike Church from AFC. Aurelio, form in the league has not been the best so far this season, but Champions League has kind of been your sort of the bright point of your season so far. What's been the reason behind the difference in form and performance levels?
I don't have an hour to explain everything, but look, our focus is what we have in front of us tomorrow. We had a good review of even on the weekend's game, and we're in good shape mentally, definitely good shape physically. We've had some hurdles and some hiccups in the league, obviously, but we seem to always have stepped up to this competition. We don't have the luxury of all the other teams in this competition where you can afford to play two different teams. Certainly Buriram, Johor, most of the other teams as well have very different teams. We don't have that luxury. We have the same small squad, and we've had to push through two competitions with a lot of travel, and we know it's difficult. So for us to arrive at this stage, it's been really a remarkable achievement. Everyone should be proud of getting here at this stage. Everyone's done a hell of a lot of work to get us to this position, and now we have a great opportunity. We have a great opportunity, potentially taking another step.
You mentioned the travel. This is for both of you. You mentioned the travel. You obviously just arrived back sort of late afternoon yesterday from New Zealand. How do you manage that, and what do you think will be the impact of that on the team's performance potentially?
Well, only time will tell what the impact's going to be, but we've handled this situation, these quick turnarounds, quite well, although this one's a little bit shorter. Obviously, we tried to have the game last Saturday's game in New Zealand. We tried to have that changed to Friday to give us that extra day. That didn't happen. We tried to get this game for Wednesday. That couldn't happen. Rugby's playing on Thursday, so there was a lot of things against us to have those changes. But we have to face whatever's there, and as I said, the players are in a good space mentally, and we know we're up against a very good team, talented team. And it's over two ties, so we've got to make sure that we're this time next week that we're playing for a hell of a lot in Buriram.
Yeah, as the coach said, travel has not been so easy here in Australia to go everywhere in Southeast Asia, but I think we faced it before. We had good results also after Champions League, so it's not easy at all, but get as much sleep as possible to recover and to be ready tomorrow to fight.
Aurelio, how much can you take out of the first meeting against Buriram? Was a few months ago, but do you look more at that or more at their recent league fixtures?
A little bit of both, to be honest. They had a cup game beginning of last week, so they haven't played on this weekend. So that would change the team a little bit, and they obviously, as I said earlier, they've changed, and they do change their Champions League teams with their league teams. So we have a pretty good idea of who's going to play. And they won't change their style too much. They've had probably a couple of little intricacies which they change in the course of the game, so we just have to be ready for that.
And Andreas, what did you kind of find that first time you played Buriram, and what are you expecting on the pitch tomorrow night from them?
Yeah, I know that it is an experienced team with a lot of foreigners, also facing two Austrians, so I'm looking forward to it again. We know what they are like, like really good structure against the ball, and then try to hurt us like in the counter, like many teams wants to hurt us. But yeah, I think when we are at our game and mentally and physically ready for it, I think it will be a good fight for us tomorrow.
And Aurelio, you touched on obviously the shorter turnaround than usual. How have the boys presented their training today, and expecting more rotation again tomorrow night?
Yeah, they pulled up quite well. As I said, I think we landed 3:30, 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So straight home, back at the facilities at 9 o'clock this morning. And they presented quite well. Everyone's recovered fine from the game. The day or two later is never the problem, it's always the third day. The session was short, and they got a lot of recovery, massage, whatever else they needed. As Andreas said, good meal tonight, good sleep, refresh, and we've got to go on the pitch tomorrow and give a lot of energy, and then we're going to obviously rely on the players who are coming off the bench to give us, the ones who probably haven't played a lot of minutes, to give us that added intensity and that added energy. So, like they did on the weekend against Auckland. So, and to be honest, they've made through this competition, guys coming off the bench have made quite a big impact for us.
Last time we played Buriram, it was obviously in the league phase, pretty much a one-off game, fighting for points. This is very different, where it's the first leg of a two-legged tie knockout. How does that change your approach to it? How do you think it will change the dynamic of this first leg in particular?
I don't know how it will change their dynamics, but for us, we try to play the same way at home or when we go away. So we're not going to change our approach. I think it's always quite dangerous if you, in my opinion, if you try to set up in a defensive way and try to hold a result, a 0-0 result or a 1-1 result. When you think about defending for periods, it's very hard to change your mentality to go into the front foot and attack. So we have to approach it like we've approached every game that we played in the Champions League, and every game that we played in the local competition. We're doing the same things. So and I think it's important that it's consistency and there's no mixed messages that way.